When I was going to America, I went with my almost 3-year-old son, the boy I treasured. I loved so very much. The boy I wanted to see him educated and become a physician if possible. And he was really doing great. He has a car. He's an American teenager, and you know they're big-headed. He has a car with all this music, bam, 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 bam. So one idiot wanted him to give him that car at a filling station, and my son Fudal rejected. He thought he can do what he used to see, what maybe in the movies was also. He attempted to defend himself. The guy got into the car, showed him a gun, and my son decided to fight with him. Unfortunately for my son, though a little older, 2 years older than the assassin overpowered him. He shot a second bullet into his head from one side to another. My name is Dr. Sulaiman Umar Kofar Na'isa. Though this is not official thing, but I'm a dean in Baba Ahmad University Kano.
Very good. And we know that you have lived in the United States of America for over 2 decades. What can you say about your life briefly in America?
Well, most of my life is learning and getting exposure and experience with the hope of getting something to bring back home to help our own situation in Nigeria. So briefly, that is what I would say. Mainly, I was just learning.
Okay, good. And briefly, what can you say about the differences between the American politics and the Nigerian politics?
Well, whatever I talk to you about is from your own views. And, you know, not exactly what it might be.
Yeah, we need your personal
my understanding
experiences.
is that Nigeria copied the American system. But we all should know there are some differences still. There are similarities, and usually is on institutional similarities and functional similarities. In Nigeria, for instance, though we have presidential system like the United States, but the polity is controlled by some individuals. Whereas in the United States, the institutions are very powerful. They control the politics. For instance, if we are talking of check and balances, which are very important in democracy. In America, it is really practical. But in Nigeria, to me, in my views, it is only there in theory. And the other thing I can tell you is probably the corruption element. American politics is almost immune from the kind of corruption we see here. Buying voters, winning the voter by any means. And of course, American election is free from thuggery, from these endeavor, these killings, this mess that we've been seeing during campaign and election in Nigeria. So that the democracy is pure, while ours is to the extent contaminated with some contaminants, which are many. Of course, corruption, poverty. American politics, they always try to see the masses, the people, at least go to the basic needs in life. Whereas in Nigeria, amazing, we don't care about basic needs. I hope you are aware of the hierarchy of need by Maslow, when he divided needs into 3 parts.
Okay.
Primary need, basic need rather, and then need for security, and then esteem need at the peaks of the pyramid.
Of the pyramid.
Good. in America, they tried to make sure that the basic needs of people are met. And that's why they have relatively peace, rather than Nigeria, where the masses, majority, do not have the basic needs. What are the basic needs? Food, shelter, security, etc. Those kind of things that every individual would like to have. In America, the system ensured that majority, if not all, of the people have those needs. How about Nigeria? You can do that. If a politician can understand this and get into politics just for the purpose of fulfilling the need, the basic needs of the people, most of them will continue to be in power without being corrupting people to vote for them.
Okay, one important question is that in your explanation, you said that the American politics is immune from contaminants. There is not as contaminated as the Nigerian politics.
Yes.
You also talk about the fact that the American politics is free from thuggery and political violence.
Yes.
What can you say about this fact that Americans die, a huge number of Americans die as a result of gun violence?
Yes. Gun violence in the United States and elsewhere in developed countries are not necessarily connected with politics. There are other factors within their own society that contributed to them. One may say, in America, for instance, every responsible person, not everybody, had the right to own a gun. But it's not just everybody go and buy a gun. They have to do background check on the person, make sure he is not a criminal, make sure he wanted it for socially accepted reasons, and then he has the license, and then they are the kind of gun he is supposed to buy. So they have it mainly for what they call self-defense when necessary. But, so the violence is not really politically motivated.
We will talk more about your experience of gun violence, but another important point that you have raised in your previous explanation is the fact that the American politicians ensure that the basic needs of their people are provided.
Right.
You said that housing is not a problem, food is not a problem, education as well. Critics of America say that go to California and other places, you will see a lot of homeless people are living without home. What can you say about this?
Again, America is a country that is proud of some terminologies. Freedom and liberty. So housing and food and everything may be available for people, but some people may choose to be just what they want to be. If you want to live on the street, as far as you don't have anybody, you are free to sleep on the street. I saw myself, but those are not the minority. I mean, I'm not the majority. Very, very minimal. I saw myself, some people picking food from dustbin. But how many are they? How many are they and who are they? Some of them maybe have mental sickness.
Which means they should be taken to where they should.
Which means they should be taken to where they should go, but it doesn't mean they can be locked forever, as far as they are not violent on the street.
They are not posing threats.
They are not causing threat to anybody. They are not destroying anybody's property. Just moving around, sleeping under shade, sleeping there and there, waking up, keep moving, maybe from one side of the country to another. They follow the weather. When the weather is hot here, they go to where it is a little cold. When it is too cold there, they go to where it is a little warm. So there are those people, but they are minimum.
Okay.
You cannot just go onto a street in California and see almajiris,
like we have
beggars just surrounding your car, begging for food. It doesn't work like that in the United States.
All right, this is important. So to clarify the point, freedom and liberty are very key in the American life and the American institutions. Now, when people live or sleep on the street, that is their choice mostly.
Mostly
is that what
that
you're
is
saying?
their choice.
Okay.
Because there are places they can go under social welfare programs, under religious organizations, and other humanitarian agencies. They have shelter. They have food there. In fact, in America, I learned the meaning of Islamic centers.
Oh, meaning?
Meaning of Islamic centers are where a mosque is not only a place where we go and pray 5 times a day. It is also a place where you can go and complain for your other social needs, food, clothing, etc. Even legal help. That is what I thought when we come to Nigeria, we will try to introduce, especially when I entered politics. I thought such idea will be welcome, but no. Well, you go to a church in the United States, any big city in the United States, see big churches, they have time for breakfast for those who could not afford. They have time for lunch. They have time for dinner. So you see, those people eating on the street, they chose to do that. There are places where they can just go and eat.
Okay, before I ask you the final question, in the mosques also in America, poor people are allowed to go and have food, breakfast, lunch, and something like that.
Some Islamic centers, they have that program. You may say we copied for the churches, but some Islamic centers, I'm not saying all the Islamic centers, all the mosques. Islamic center, yes. The education, you come there, or you have the food items donated by us, the Muslims. You can come and get some food item and go and prepare your own food at home. If you don't have clothes, you need some clothes, just ask. If you need money, come explain your reason. And if the treasury is full with money, that you get what you can get. Finally,
gun violence. Any personal experience with gun violence?
Well, I'm not very happy you asking me this, because I bring a bad memory into my mind. When I was going to America, I went with my almost 3-year-old son, the boy I treasured. I loved so very much. The boy, I wanted to see him educated and become a physician if possible. And he was really doing great. He has a car. He's an American teenager, and their big head is. He has a car with all this music, bam, 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 bam. So one idiot wanted him to give him that car at a filling station. And my son, Fudal. Fudal is the name of the Fudal is the name of the son.
Okay.
My son Fudal rejected. He thought he can do what he used to see, what maybe in the movies was also. He attempted to defend himself. The guy got into the car, showed him a gun, and my son decided to fight with him. Unfortunately for my son, though a little older, 2 years older than the assassin overpowered him. He shot a second bullet into his head from one side to another. And he came round to my son's side of the car, pushed him out, got into the car, steering, closed the door and drove off. But guess what? Within an hour, he was arrested.
Oh, God.
He was arrested. And within a year, with all the formalities, legal things, he was convicted to life imprisonment without parole. But that did not bring me child back. That will never. The pain is always in my head. In fact, I can say maybe this made me hate the life in the United States a little bit. But then I thought contrary news. I had a daughter who happened to be one of the best students you ever could dream. Even the United States institution said it.
Okay.
He's a student who really studied very hard, studied in a school. That's about $50,000 US fee per year. But guess what? Always scholarship. Not a dime of mine or her mother.
It was the United States government.
Doing great.
Doctor, let me ask you this important question. Donald Trump, former president of the United States of America, who may come back as the 47th possibly president of the United States of America come November, was was shot. Though he survived. He survived what people call an attempted assassination.
Yeah.
What can you say about him relating to other US presidents or politicians that have also found themselves in such a mess?
Maybe this, I'll start by saying maybe this generation did not know the history of the United States of America.
Yeah.
Attempted assassination of president happened before. I think Trump's attempted assassination is the fifth in history. Before him, the first one to escape dying assassin was Andrew Jackson in the year 1855. After him, there was President Roosevelt. He escaped it in 1912. After him, General Ford. General Ford, twice in 1 month. In September 1975, on the 5th day of it, an attempt was made on his life. He escaped it. On the same September 22nd, another attempt was made, just 17 days after. And I think, if I remember well, the assassin is a female, a woman. Then there were about probably four successful, if I can call it successful, killing. You know, the first was the famous Abraham Lincoln, a very famous president in the United States. Then a president called James Garfield. Abraham Lincoln was in 1865. Garfield is in 1881. And William McKinley in 1901. Then the most pitiful one that the world cried, almost the whole world cried, was that of John F. Kennedy in 1963. So it's not a new thing that this little attempt, you know, on Trump happened. But again, many generations, you know, passed without witnessing this kind of things. And this is not necessarily political violence. 2 or 3 main reasons contributed to assassination of presidents in the United States. And you may even say in the whole world. It could be political motives, collaboration, political motive to assassination. And this is related to unwanted policy, governmental policy by opponents. So they may collaborate to do away with a president because of this. The others, and so many of them, I think, legally they were regarded as insane, mental problem. So these probably are the 2 main reasons why this happened, but not necessarily all of the killing politically motivated.
Doctor, do you think this Donald Trump's survival from the assassination attempt, do you think it will give him any advantage to win the sympathy of the Americans and maybe make them vote for him, or what?
I don't think there is a yes or no answer to this, because American politics is elite politics. They have reason for voting whom they want to vote. But when we look at the human factor, yes, if something nasty happened to an individual, he will get some sympathizers. And again, on the other hand, there may be others who will just be biting their finger. Why didn't it happen all the way? You know, so there's no yes or no question. It may not. But American politics is an elite society. They have what they want from a president. You know, killing or not killing him may not be a factor as such.
So, in a term, American politics is always unpredictable.
Predictable because Americans can easily change their mind. You can be doing the campaign, doing very well with all the polls, but then slight misstep or misannouncement or something can bring you down, and you can as well rise up again. So it's predictable. It's not very predictable, you know. But watch it. The main thing with American politics is this concept of conservativeness and progressive ideas, because that motive hardly see fault with whom they want, while the progressive, which mainly most of them are Democrats, you know, they see things different way from the conservative.
So, final question, Doctor. As someone who has lost a son to this gun violence, what would you say to the next US president, whether it's Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? What would you say to them to do about gun violence, gun ownership, and gun proliferation? Would you like to see it completely off the street, out of the hands of everyone, or, well, do some legislations and stuff like that?
The way it is, I don't think there will be any law in the United States in the near future, if at all, that will take away guns from all of the people in the United States. It's not going to be an easy task. But measures to control the ownership of guns, or the check and balancing and what have you, should be improved. That is the way I can only say. But take the guns out of the street, out of the people's hand, that I don't think can ever happen. You know, but definitely there is need for the government to do what it can to reduce the number of the guns on the people who are not really deserving having it.